Starting in mountain pose, taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Noticing the muscles in our faces and our shoulders soften, melting towards the earth. Noticing the energy of our body and how it starts to change as our breath starts to slow. Allowing our bodies to assume its natural rhythm in and out through the nose. And running through a quick body scan from head to toe, noticing the state and mood of our body. Taking a moment to set an intention or an affirmation to guide our practice. Filling our lungs with curiosity, fresh air and energy. And exhaling out energy, emotion, stress that may not serve us, that we don't need to take into our practice, or that we can work on through our practice to chew on, to digest, and to let go of. Bringing our awareness back to the space around us, the sounds, the temperature, and the smells. And with smiles on our faces, we'll start with a gentle bounce, changing up the energy, slowly starting to shift our weight to let our arms sway, our head may sway left to right. Gentle bouncing, moving the energy around. Allowing the body to move in ways that it might crave. And noticing what might be changing or talking to us. Five more seconds. And then we'll come back to neutral and run through another body scan. Noticing the change of our energy in just that short minute of movement. Our heart rates, our breath. And opening our feet a little wider than hip distance. And we'll run through some squats to forward fold, and we'll start inhaling, reaching all the way up into extended mountain. Exhale, we'll lower through our squat. Inhale, we'll forward fold. And exhale, rolling up like ragdolls, stacking the vertebrae, shoulders, and head. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, we float down. Moving to the rhythm of our breath. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, we roll up. And we'll continue this, floating to the rhythm of our breath. Opening as we warm up. Opening the abdomen, the chest, the hips, the back of the legs, and the lower back and neck. Moving to a rhythm that feels good. Pausing anywhere along the way. Just connecting with the sensations of our bodies. Noticing how we're starting to create headspace as we focus on the physical sensations. Let's do 3 more. And one more time, we reach all the way up. We sink into our squat. And we forward fold. Hanging out here. Pressing the knees back. Straightening the feet. Toes are pointed forward. Just allowing gravity to take hold. Finding length in the spine and the neck. Letting the head hang heavy. Noticing sensations in the back of our legs. Using our breath to slowly ease into the pose. And on the next exhale, we'll roll ourselves up one more time like ragdolls. Stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head. We reset, deep breath in. Rolling the shoulders up and back. Good. Opening our legs a little bit wider. Double hip width. And we'll float through left and right, lateral lunges with alternating toe taps, or at least sweeping the arm towards the foot, towards the mat, slowly opening the inner thighs. Maybe even visualizing, creating an energy bubble around us. Not only to protect our energy, but to shield ourselves from the negative energy of others. Knowing and allowing entry to only those things that serve us. Trusting our instincts to guide these actions of allowing energy in starting to generate a bit of heat in the legs. And then we'll float into a high Skandasana and hold here. So bringing our hands to heart center, elongating the torso, drawing the shoulder blades in and back. Gentle hold. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Two more breaths here. And then we'll float over to the other side, holding here. Resetting, checking in with the breath, tapping into it, trusting our quadricep to keep us upright. Two more breaths. Good. Coming to center, forward fold. Enjoy the stretch in the back of the legs and lower back, allowing the head to hang heavy. And connecting to the earth with our hands. Good. Pivoting over to the right. And we're coming into a crescent lunge. So finding stability of our legs. We're up on the toes of the left foot. And when we're ready, we'll lift the arms over our shoulders, holding our crescent lunge here, reaching the fingertips tall and elongating the sides of the body. Good, and we're going to pulse up and down. Bringing our hands to heart center or onto our hips. We're straightening and lunging the front leg. Focusing on the quadricep. Focusing on the stability of the back foot with the toes pressing into the mat. Tall torsos, dynamic tension in our upper body as we press the palms together and the shoulder blades in and back. Five more. Good concentration. All that head space we're creating. Stability of our body and mind. Last one. And we come back to our lunge, reaching the arms all the way back over our shoulders. And we'll rotate over the lunge leg, reaching to the right. Gazing over the right arm. Holding here. Tall torsos, calm, steady rhythm of breath. And we'll windmill our arms to the floor. Plank vinyasa. Tucking the elbows into the sides of the body. Upward facing or cobra. Exhale, coming back to the earth. Inhale, we curl the toes, we press ourselves up, plank, down dog. And let's pedal that out. Great. And we're going to float or step our feet to the top of our mat, back into our forward fold. If we're floating, we're going to bend the knees, crunch in like a little ball, and hop up. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, forward fold, and you're already ahead of me. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We're going to step back, this time with the right leg, crescent lunge. Finding our way here. Tall torso. Pressing into the balls of the right foot, the toes. And then we inhale, reaching our arms up, elongating the sides of the body, finding even strength between both legs. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Good. On the inhale, we straighten the front leg. On the exhale, we come back down. Lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Option to keep the arms over the shoulders or bring them to prayer or on our hips. Tall torso. We're not hinging or collapsing over our lunged leg like a string is attached to our head, pulling us up. Good. Let's do 5 more. 2. Last one. We hold the lunge, we extend our arms all the way back up over our shoulders, finding our balance. And then we rotate over the lunge leg, reaching the left arm back, the right arm forward. We gaze over our left hand. Good. Windmilling our arms forward and touching down to the mat. Stepping back, plank. Vinyasa, tucking the arms in. Chaturanga hold. Upward facing. Or cobra, opening up the abdomen. Exhale, coming back down. Curling the toes underneath, pressing into our plank down dog. Paddling it out. Good. Floating or stepping back to the top of our mat. However we choose to get there. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart. Coming to the center of our mat, and we'll do 90-degree legs to a reverse curtsy, staying on one side, challenging our balance and stability, and generating heat and headspace. Continuing to work the toes and the top of the foot. Tall torso. The palms are pressing together. Starting to feel a little energy and heat in the quadricep. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll hold our leg up at 90. We'll cross it over the opposite leg, single leg chair, and we sink down. Continuing to hold our palms together, rolling our shoulder blades in and back, tall torso, finding length, and a calm, steady rhythm of breath. Good, forward folding here, bringing our hands to the earth. And slowly starting to straighten our anchored leg, hanging our head heavy. Calm and steady. For 2 more breaths. Good, sliding the top foot all the way to the outside of the anchored foot, crossing the feet, easing into the pose with our exhalations. Good. We'll step out of that, drawing the back foot out, bringing it under our hips. Forward fold. Option to bring the hands to the elbows and sway left to right. Two more breaths. And we'll come back to center. Deep breaths in. And exhale, we roll up like ragdolls. Stacking the vertebrae, shoulders and head. Resetting, rolling the shoulders up and back. Palms come back, heart center. And we go with the opposite leg, 90 degrees, and reverse curtsy. Finding a flow and a rhythm that suits us, keeping a tall torso. Whatever range of motion feels comfortable for our stability and strength today, we honor that. Three more. Last one here, and then we come back to 90, crossing our foot over and sinking into a single leg tree chair pose. Once again, finding length in our torso, drawing the shoulder blades in and back. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. And we'll hinge forward, forward fold, pressing the left knee back, hanging our heads heavy, and slowly easing our way into the pose. Keeping a micro bend on the knee. Two more breaths. And we'll slide our top foot down the outside of the anchored leg, crossing the feet, holding here. Using our exhalations to release energy and tension. Finding support on the earth, our shins or our thighs. Good. Drawing the back foot out, bringing it under our hips. Once again, bringing the hands to the inside of the elbows and shifting our weight left to right, swaying side to side, keeping our heads heavy. And breaking up any tension in the back of the legs. Maybe feeling this running along from the lower back through to the knees and even to the ankles sometimes. Being gentle. Moving the energy around slowly. And we'll come into the center, finding stillness. Deep breaths in. And then on the exhale, we'll float ourselves up like ragdolls. One vertebrae at a time, shoulders and head. Rolling the shoulders up and back. Sighing it out. Good. We'll center ourselves lengthwise on the mat. And back to our first leg, the first one that we lifted to 90, if you remember which one that is. If not, it doesn't matter. We're going to straighten the leg all the way out and bring it back in. Extending, keeping the foot flexed, toes are pointed to the sky. Finding length in the back of the leg while we work on stability. Trying to keep the hips square, micro bend in the anchored knee. Good. Tucking it in, we're going to grab onto the big toe, trying not to shift our spine too much. Elongating the spine, holding here, or slowly starting to extend that leg. Keeping a tall torso. We can hold the leg out in front of us, or we can open it up, seeing what challenges us the most and where we might need time spent nourishing and creating length. For 3 more breaths. Good. Keeping that leg, bringing our hands back to our hips, and we're going to slowly float the leg back into a warrior 3 tabletop. Inhale, floating the leg forward. Exhale, float the leg back. Inhale, we float forward. Swinging the leg straight, through, forward, and back. Creating a little energy in the back of the hip. Forcing our opposite side to maintain stability. And bringing our hands to prayer pose. On the next time through, we're going to step ourselves into a crescent lunge. As slow and steady as possible. Using our front leg to lunge, we come into our crescent lunge, finding stability here. Arms come all the way up. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center, back into our warrior 3 tabletop. And into our standing extended leg. Great. Let's repeat that. Slow and steady. Warrior 3. Slowed into our crescent lunge. Inhale, we reach our arms up, opening our heart center. Exhale, hands to heart, prayer. Lifting back into warrior 3 tabletop. And then we swing our leg all the way back through, parallel to the floor. We'll do 3 more just like that. Slow-mo. Challenging our muscles to engage. Opening our upper body, the lower back. Floating through. Great. 2 more. As slow as we can. Maybe we slow it down each time we go through. One more sequence. Good. And we bring the leg back down. Let's shake that out, rinsing out the legs, the arms, the hands, the ankles. And congratulate ourselves. That was not easy. Slow is very steadying and challenging for the body. And we'll switch to the opposite side. First off, bringing the opposite leg to 90 degrees, flexing the foot and driving the heel forward. Inhale, bringing the foot back. Exhale, we drive it forward. Steadying ourselves with a micro bend in the anchored leg. Tall torsos. Remembering this posture. Good, keeping our leg extended this time. I'm going to sway it forward and back like a pendulum. Slowly starting to warm into the outer hip and glute. Bringing our hands to our hips if that feels more settling and stable. Keeping our foot flexed, toes pointed up, and then they point down as a guide for where our hips should be. Trying to keep the hips square to the earth. One more. And on the next one, we'll slowly float our back leg into our crescent lunge and flow through our sequence. So coming back into our warrior three table, we float the back leg down as slowly as our front leg will allow. We make contact, we lift our arms, crescent lunge, opening the chest, abdomen, lower back. And then just as slowly, we hinge back forward, lifting the back leg. And then we bring the leg forward, through, and parallel. Good. Repeating this. Hinging and floating. Slowly lowering down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, forward we go. And exhale, we bring the leg through. We'll do 3 more just like that. Building strength through our wobbles. Feeling the heat we're generating. And we'll do 1 more full range, full sequence. Building confidence in our strength and stability. Good. And we bring the leg to the earth, shaking that out, rinsing the ankles, the wrists, the toes, shaking the legs. Whenever feels good, grabbing a sip of water, maybe even a towel. And one more time. Back to a wide angle. Wide stance with our toes pointed out, double hip width, and we'll do some stars. So bringing our hands into cactus, we'll lower into a squat, finding our positioning here. On the inhale, we're going to reach the arms up, straightening the legs, star. Exhale, cactusing the arms, lowering into a squat. Exhale, inhale, reaching into a star. Option as we come to our star is to come up on our toes. Working our calves, working the fronts of our feet and the toes. Really challenging our stability, creating massive head space here. No doubt noticing our Ujjayi breath has become a little bit deeper and more forceful. We tap into it. Knowing the benefits that we get from our breath work also go a long way in our practice and beyond. 2 more. Awesome, looking good. Let's do 1 more just now that we've found our rhythm and our stability. And we'll forward fold. Well done. Bringing the toes forward like train tracks, letting the head hang heavy. And rinsing that out, maybe bouncing the knees left to right. Bringing our heart rates back down. Amazing how much we can accelerate our heart rate with slow movements, challenging our entire body. And let's rock forward and back on our toes and our heels, peeling the heels and then the toes off the earth, forward and back. Keeping our hands connected for support. Three more. And we pivot to the right again. Coming into a lunge, crescent lunge. However, this time we're planting our hands on the earth. We're stepping back into our plank vinyasa, upward facing or cobra. And then we'll press ourselves back up into a plank, curling the toes under the shins, holding the plank. You thought we'd never get here. Swaying the hips left to right, hands are under our chest. Good. Keeping the toes together. And we steady ourselves into our plank. And let's just do a few chaturanga press-ups for good fun. Keeping the elbows tucked into the sides of our bodies. We lower and we press. We lower and we press. Keeping our torsos nice and tight. Straight line from our shoulders to our ankles for 2 more. Working the triceps, working the abdomen. Ah, good job. Down dog. Ah, that'll feel good. Rinse it out. Letting the head hang heavy. Working the energy through the calves from all of our toe raises. Good. Inhale, we'll float all the way back to our plank. And we're going to bring our left leg off the earth and then to the left elbow. We're going to up and down with the knee. So we're lowering the knee to the earth and pressing back up into the shoulder blades. Coming into a really high plank, rounding and then lowering. Keeping the left knee as close to the left arm as possible as we slide up and down. Pressing into the toes, lifting the right quadricep. 3 more. For 2. And 1. Extend the left leg back, single leg down dog, holding here. Pressing all the weight into the right leg. Pressing the heel to the earth. Yay for that. Good. We'll lower our left leg. Rinse it out. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. So bringing the feet back together. Inhale to plank. Right leg lifts. Right knee comes to right arm. And we lower it and press up. Lower and press. Keeping the right knee as close to the right arm as possible. Crunched in. Using the abdomen. Slowly starting to feel that we press up and down on our left foot, up on the toes, engaging the left quadricep, feeling the abdomen fire. 3 more. 2. Last one. And we extend the right leg back, single leg down dog, pressing all of our weight into the left heel into the mat. Catching our breath. Great. Bring the right leg down. Let's get off of our hands for a moment. Bringing our knees underneath of us. Child's pose. Walking the hands out, sinking the hips back. Option to shift our weight left to right or to bring the hands behind our back. Maybe we just rinse out the wrists here in front of us. Whatever feels good. Excellent. From the next inhale, we'll draw ourselves back into all fours, curling our toes under our shins. Deep breaths in, exhaling to down dog. Taking a breath here. And then we'll float to a plank. And this next sequence, we'll do plank to down dog with alternating hand to toe taps. So once we get into our plank, inhaling, exhale, down dog, reaching left hand to right foot. Inhale, plank, exhale, right hand to left foot. The contact isn't what's important, it's the reach, it's the stability and strength that we're building. The hand might reach beyond, it might tap the shin or the foot. No competition or expectation. The inhale to plank, we want to make sure our bodies maintain parallel to the floor. We're not sagging our hips. And we're building a little bit of length in the back of our body with each reach and exhalation. Pressing the weight through the heels. Challenging our wrists, our chests, our abdomen. Trusting that we have the strength, we have the resilience, feeling good. Let's do 2 more on each side. Good. And back to our plank, lowering our knees, flattening our feet, child's pose. Coming back off of our wrists, rinsing them out. Good. Letting our hearts and our breath reset. And on the next inhale, we'll come back to all fours, back to our plank. So curling our toes under our shins, deep breaths in. Exhale, down dog. Taking a breath here. And then on the next inhale, we float into our plank. Good. Widening our feet so they're about hip width or just beyond. Hands are still under our chest, maybe a bit closer. We're going to do T rotations here. So inhale, reaching our arm over our back, letting the heels pivot. Inhale back to plank, reset. Exhale, letting the heels pivot to the opposite side, reaching above our back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, we rotate. Floating to the rhythm of our breaths. Keeping the hips lifted high. Starting to notice the muscles engage in our upper back, our wingspan, and our abdomen. Slow and steady. Forcing the muscles to engage. Remembering our resilience. Remembering our strength and determination. Three more on each side, slow and steady. Excellent. Back to our plank. Reset. Lowering the knees, flattening the feet, child's pose. Rinse that out. Yummy. And on the next inhale, we'll draw ourselves back into all fours. But this time we'll come onto our back, lowering ourselves down. We'll do a couple of abdominal exercises here, so grabbing a sip of water optional. Good. We'll start off with some yogi bicycles. So nice and slow. Again, we float with the breath. Bring our hands to the sides of our head. We'll extend our legs out or to 90, whichever feels better on the lower back. And we're going to cross the elbow to the opposite knee. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale, reach opposite elbow to opposite knee. Back to center. Slow and steady. We reset in the middle. Yogi bicycles. Extending one leg as we tap the opposite elbow to opposite knee. Noticing the body might start to tremble. We're building strength through these wobbles. Slowing things down to really force the muscles to engage. Maybe even visualizing the muscles in our abdomen that we're working. Finding our breath, finding our rhythm. Pausing to reset in the middle. Three more on each side. Noticing the slowness of our breath. Last one. Good job. Reset. Bring the feet and the head to the earth, and then we'll stretch out, reaching the arms above the head. The legs reach long on the mat, and we arch our lower back. Deep breaths in, feeling the abdomen, and drawing the breath through to the lower back. One more just like that. Allowing our lower back to assume its natural shape. We'll do one more abdominal exercise. Tucking the knees in, and then we'll open the legs a little bit wider. The hands are going to come through the legs, and then we'll close the legs and open the arms. Open the legs, close the arms. Open and close, opposite to opposite. Keeping the feet flexed. Starting to feel the abdomen light up. Feeling a little bit of length and heat generating in the inner thighs and hips. For 5, 4, 3 more. 1 more. And we'll hug it in this time. Draw the knees into the chest, hugging the head towards the knees, chin to chest. And we can lower the head to the earth, keeping our knees hugged in. Using our arms to hug the legs tight. Noticing what's happening in the hip flexors, maybe the lower back. Maybe we rock or pulse or just find stillness. Deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more. Good. Extending the feet over the hips, driving the heels up. Once again, we can hug our torso into the legs, wrapping our hands around the back of the legs, keeping the feet flexed. And then go ahead and point and flex the feet, wiggling out the ankles, the feet, the toes, the calves. Yummy. Now we'll lower our legs and our head back to the earth, extending the legs along the mat, finding our final resting pose here. Opening our arms or bringing them onto our hips. Taking a moment to congratulate ourselves for getting through this challenging session, building strength and stability of our bodies and minds, creating headspace, and resilience. Taking a moment to reflect on any intention or affirmation that we may have set at the beginning of our practice. And remembering to go into every conversation with love, compassion, and forgiveness, but also to remember that we don't have to allow other energy into our lives if it doesn't serve us. Remember that bubble of energy we created. It's there to protect us at all times. Taking the time that we need on the mat to imprint the practice on our bodies, to reset our hearts. And when we're ready, we'll curl up, pressing ourselves back to the space around us and giving thanks for the opportunity to practice the strength of our bodies, the determination of our minds to let distractions go and to remain present in this moment. Well done, us. Thank you for joining me and generating a little bit of heat and sweat today. Namaste.